Hello again, everyone. My name is James Shotwell, and this is the Music Biz channel. It is so good to be with you again. Today, I'm bringing you yet another one of our Fast 5 interview series. And today, I'm talking with a very special guest who has 40 years of music business experience. Sator is one of Sweden's longest lasting rock bands. Formed in the early 80s, the group changed their name in 1987 and have since pushed forward, basically being a constantly active rock band for the better part of 40 years. And that is an accomplishment for virtually anyone, especially when it's a group that arguably most people outside of that area have not heard of. And today, we're going to talk about how they got there. My friend Chips from the band is here to discuss their new album, The Return of the Barbecue Killers, how they lasted this long, and what the secret sauce is to not hating your bandmates after decades on the road together. More importantly, Chips tells me about his band's very unique approach to making this record. Return of the Barbecue Killers is the sequel to a record that the band released in the early 90s, and it's a covers album, but not in the way you might think. Rather than covering the most popular songs by musicians that we all love, the band reached out to their favorite artists and asked if they had ever written a song, maybe even recorded it, but not released it to the world at large. And groups like ABBA and other gigantic pop and rock bands sent them unreleased material, which the group has since recorded on their own and put out. Return of the Barbecue Killers is more of this. It's more unreleased music, though admittedly it's been a couple of decades and some of those songs have come out, but still, it is a unique approach to recording and releasing music, especially cover songs that we've never really talked about on the show before, so you know I had to ask Chips about it. But enough about me. I want you to hear what Chips has to say about building a legacy, recording cover songs, marketing yourself, and just getting older in the music industry. So sit back, relax, and enjoy my chat with Chips. All right, let's put 5 minutes on the clock and we will get started. So the new album is called Return of the Barbecue Killers. So let's start there. Tell me about the title for this record.
I mean, in 1994, we did an album called Barbecue Killers, Volume 1, which was like a covers album of unreleased American punk songs that like early punk, but I mean, those bands, usually they made like 3 or 4 singles. So they had lots of songs they never recorded. So we started writing to people and asking, do you have any unreleased songs from 1978 or 1979? So they sent us a lot of cassettes and we went through all and looked for songs that could suit us. That were great songs, but they would still be able to do it in our way. So, and since it was called Volume 1, there's got to be a Volume 2. Yes. So in 1995, we started recording Volume 2. And now we're done. It took a while.
Yeah, I would say it might have also taken a minute. So did you approach this the same way? Now, I know some of the names I recognize, obviously, Suicide Commandos, Gary Glitter, ABBA, but are these songs all kind of sourced the same way? Are these just unreleased songs that you're covering?
They're not really unreleased, all of them now, since time has passed. Some has been released, and now record labels dig up every single demo recorded back then. So nothing is really unreleased anymore. So we dropped that rule. So quite a few actually can be found on other records.
Now, I know that Sator's been around for a long time. Like the band changed your name to Sator the year I was born, and I turned 35 this year. So to give everyone an idea of where we're at in the timeline of Sator, I'm always curious. You know, I love to talk to people who've been doing this as long as I've been alive, because I always want to know what's the thing that gets you out of bed today in 2022 about music? Is it the same thing that got you out of bed 30 years ago, or has it changed with time?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the love of music, and I still go to the post office and pick up records. And as happy as I ever was when I opened the package and see something that I haven't heard before or that I have heard before and finally found. And so it never stops and it never gets boring. And if you sometimes can get a little bit tired of the music industry, that you just do a show or live show or you put on a record and then you remember, this is why we do it. So
I love that.
Yeah.
And that's a great answer. And I wanted to follow up with it by asking you what the secret is to feeling that way and keeping the band together, because that's really the key here. Is you guys have not all exploded on one another, or you have and you've managed to work through it. So what's the secret sauce that's kept a band together?
I think it's a really simple answer. We always gone by the heart, not the brain. Just go with the heart. What feels right. Don't think about what's good career-wise, or this is going to bring in money, or this is going to give us a lot of cars or cars and houses. Just go with the heart, and if it feels good, then someone else will like it. And if they don't like it, then so be it.
Now it's been about 11 years since we've got a proper studio album from the band, and this one obviously feeds the itch for fans. But I'm curious, have you been working for 10 years on some originals as well? It seems like it might take you a while to get some of these records. So are there a smattering of originals out there somewhere?
Oh yeah, I mean, this album that we're releasing now was actually done 2 years ago. And then this little Corona thing happened.
Oh yeah, I heard about
You heard about it, yeah. And that stopped everything. So we were supposed to do a new original album this year, but now that one have to wait. So we've written a lot of stuff. We haven't started recording yet, and it won't take 11 years. So maybe 1 year.
Okay, well, I love that. Now, there are people out there who are going to see this and maybe they haven't heard Sator before, and you guys have a wealth of material people can listen to. And I certainly have recommendations, especially off the new record. I think that your rip on Shimmy Shake, especially Vicious Cycle and Backstage Pass, all jump out to me as songs that I enjoy thoroughly. But for people out there, maybe the younger generations that are listening to you now and trying to learn about how to build this career, where should they start if they want to become true Sator fans?
I mean, this is a good start, because all the stuff that Sator is in here somewhere. I mean, sometimes we go a little more hard rock, and sometimes a little on the power pop side, but it's in there somewhere. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, we're not a metal band, we're not a hard rock band, we're not a punk band. We're sort of like, I think, Cheap Trick. Same thing with them. What are they? Are they a metal band? Are they a punk band?
They're just a good band. Yeah,
it's a good band. Good old rock and roll. That's so you could check every Sator record. They all sound the same. No, they don't really, but the essence is there. That's
a great answer. No, I take it. And we hit our time, so I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me. But I do want to give you a chance for one more question. So we have the record, The Return of the Barbecue Killers, coming out on July 29th through Wild Kingdom. What else do you guys have in store for the rest of the year?
Touring the rest of the year. Great. And probably writing more songs for the next album. We're going to tour with DAD and the Nomads in Scandinavia. That's going to be a lot of fun. Old friends and favorite bands of ours, so that would be great.
Absolutely. And I'll make sure to tell people to check that out. Again, everyone watching, you can pick up Return to the Barbecue Killers starting July 29th from Wild Kingdom Records. You can also find it on streaming services. Thank you, Chips, for being here. Did you have fun?
Thank you. Yes, I had fun.
I hope you learned as much from that chat with Chips as I did. As always, I want to thank Sator for taking the time to talk with me about their new record, Return to the Barbecue Killers, which arrives July 29th through Wild Kingdom Records. I also want to send a special thank you to John Freeman of Freeman Promotions for setting up this conversation and putting Sator's new record on our radar. It's awesome. Thank you again. Now, as always, my name is James Shotwell, and this is Music Biz. If you don't like watching us on YouTube, you can also watch the show on Spotify or vice versa. If you prefer audio, the show is available as a podcast wherever you get podcasts, and of course, it's always free. Now, I'll be back again soon with a lot more content for you, but until then, take care of yourself, because you deserve it.